Good evening, my viewers. This is George Ondek with a special guest tonight. I'm back to one of my features, Get to Know the Candidates, and I'm with
Cynthia Merend.
Cynthia Merend, and you're running for
Tax receiver for the town of Cortland.
And that's Cortland Manor in Westchester County, right?
Yes.
Not Cortland, New York.
Not Cortland, New York. No, it's Cortland Manor in Westchester County.
Now, I'm quite surprised. I met you recently, and I found out you were running for the
tax receiver
in Cortland. I didn't know that was a position where people have to run and get elected.
Yes, and that's not the case in every town, but in the town of Cortland, it is. It is an elected position. You have to be elected by the voters, and the funny part is, funny or not, it's not a politically driven position. It's an administrative position.
Yes.
The laws are the laws. They're all put in place. The job description is clearly spelled out, but you need to be elected to fill this role.
And you collect the taxes. You don't impose them, right?
Correct.
Because people will find it very strange, me being a tax watchdog and having someone on the show who collects taxes.
Yes.
But I hear in the town of Cortland, they're kept very low, or they have been over the years. But I want to get my viewers to get to know you better. You've lived in Cortland Manor a few years. What do you do? What have you done civically? Have you been a Girl Scout leader or anything like that?
I've not been a Girl Scout leader because I don't have a daughter.
You
I
don't?
actually have a son.
What about a Boy Scout? No, you
No,
can't be a Boy Scout
I have
leader.
a son, and he is a senior this year in Hendrick Hudson High School.
Right.
So my family moved from Ossining to Cortland Manor the summer of 6th grade. So I went to Blue Mountain Middle School, and that was a phenomenal experience. And it's a small town. Most people know each other. On back to school night, Frank Thomas was the principal at the time, and he looked at my parents and he said, "You're new." And my parents said, "This is the place. We are so glad we moved here." And ever since, it's just a strong sense of community. The neighborhoods all know each other. And it's not a very transient community either, which makes it even better.
We're very close to each other where you work. You work for affordable senior development in Cortland Manor.
Yes.
I live in Society Hill too, which abuts it just almost, maybe
very close.
By about a mile. And it's a beautiful area, Cortland and Peekskill. So you work as an administrator in the affordable housing
Well, I'm the
field?
property manager there. I've been so for just about 10 years. Yeah, and it's really great helping people and having, you don't only collect rents. You do, as a property manager, especially for a senior community, certain things are difficult for them. Like they can't understand certain things, or if somebody got the wrong mail, you have to be extra helpful. And you get involved with their families as well. That's just, it's like a package. If somebody moves in, and again, it's a very low turnover. It's a fantastic place. There's 4 buildings. It is
and it's
beautiful.
affordable.
It's affordable.
People would be amazed. I've heard the
Senior
rents are like $1,100-$1,200 for a beautiful townhouse. It comes under Westchester County affordable housing.
Well, the county sets the rates. They set the rent rates. Well, we're a tax credit property actually, which means the rents are either 60% of the fair market value or 50% of the fair market value.
Wow.
And your income tells us which style unit you qualify to reside in.
Wow.
Yeah. So the published rates of your maximum income are published. It has nothing to do with the property, but we have to be in compliance.
Compliance.
And
okay.
if you're 1 penny over, you're over income.
Really? But
Really?
I hear the income level is high, like $46,000. Am I correct on
Well,
that?
I think for
I read
maybe
one of your
for
pamphlets.
like one person for 60% unit.
Wow,
Yeah.
that is tremendous, because
So
you know how high rents are in Westchester County. I've heard
Yes.
people for a similar apartment paying $2,000 a month and more,
sure.
because the real estate market is on fire right now.
It is.
So how do you like living in Cortland Manor
I love
and bringing
Cortland.
your child up here?
I love Cortland. I couldn't imagine living anywhere else. I really couldn't. Yeah, so being a homeowner, I never had to go to the office to pay my taxes. They always came out of the mortgage.
Uh-huh.
So
That's
a lot,
the way
a lot
I
of,
do it,
yeah.
automatically.
So a lot of people say, well, you know, I go in and I pay and this and that, and so then you hear that kind of feedback also, especially since I've been a candidate.
Candidate.
Go ahead.
Now let me ask you, you're a candidate for public office. What made you decide to take the plunge and run for public office? If you're going to be elected, it's a public office.
About maybe 2.5 years ago, somebody approached me and they said, hey Cindy, did you ever consider running for public office or whatever? I said, since I was president of my senior class in high school.
You were president of your senior class?
I was. Hendrick Hudson.
Oh, it's a good school district, Hendrick Hudson School District.
It was fantastic. But I said, since then, no. And that was that. I went home, I thought about it, and I said, why would this particular person have asked me this question? And I did some research, and I said, that's why. I said, I would be great at that. It has to do with compliance, detail, timelines. There's no margin for error. And you have to be friendly. You have to be exact. You have to be friendly. And you have to be ready to explain to every person that comes through that door what's going on for them. Because it's big numbers for a lot of people.
And that would be a great asset to a tax receiver who people come in and have questions about their assessments, their taxes, their payment of taxes. Would you be in charge of that if you become the receiver of taxes in Cortland?
Well, that was a broad scope of description. So
I know.
No, there's a separate assessor.
Oh,
they have their own
so
office.
you wouldn't be the assessor.
No.
Many people don't like the assessor.
No. And that's
You
not.
just collect the taxes.
You know what?
What?
They call it tax receiver.
Tax receiver.
Collector. Receiver takes this thing out of what's actually happening, I think. So tax receiver is what that position does. And it's not just a one-person office. They collect for, I believe it's 5 school districts.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And the town?
There's, I think it's 5 school districts. There's special interest groups also, like fire districts and what have you. There's probably several other that I'm not aware of. There's 15,000 plus parcels in the town of Cortland.
Wow.
So, I mean, it's a busy office.
A little more about your background. Where did you go to college? What did you major in? And what other type of positions have you held before your current position?
Okay. I went to college in Manhattan. I went to the Laboratory Institute of Merchandising. I graduated from there.
Which is similar to Fashion Institute of Technology?
Kind of, it's a small private school, but it is for the business of fashion. So yeah, so I commuted on Metro North.
Wow, good.
To college, yeah. So that
I like
was,
going to Yankee Stadium rather than taking a car at Metro North.
Well, when I was going to school, Yankee Stadium didn't have its own stop at that time.
They might not have had a Yankee Stadium. No, they would have had a Yankee Stadium.
Not the new
So
one, but
what did you do after you graduated?
Right
You were a
after-
fashion model, right?
No.
No?
George, thanks.
Just
You were a
teasing.
fantastic guy. No, right after graduation, I worked for a advertising company that did fashion catalogs. And Jordan Marsh at the time was their main client.
Jordan Marsh,
Yes.
okay.
They're based out of Boston. So here I am, right out of college, boom, I get this job. And I'm flying back and forth to Boston for all these meetings.
Wow.
And going on photo shoots, and it's really amazing. When you get something and you kind of like glance through it, the amount of work and detail behind every single picture, people just don't think about it. They look at it, they say, I'm going to buy that sweater. But that was really an amazing experience.
How did you like Boston and Cape Cod? Did you ever go out to Cape Cod or Block Island?
I have.
I love going up there for vacations.
Boston was great, going back and forth.
And they say Boston up there.
Boston?
They don't say Boston
Right.
like we do.
Yeah, well, waiting in the airport those few times, you kind of knew if there was, depending on what ball team was playing.
What about if the Yankees were playing?
It was a little quiet,
Did
or
you
a
wear
lot
a
of
Yankee
booze.
hat? Did you ever go to
No.
Fenway Park?
I did not.
I went once. It's an experience.
Is it?
Very delightful experience. You'll have to try that. You know,
Well,
if you're a baseball fan.
I like baseball.
Was your son a baseball? Is he a baseball fan or a player?
We've gone to a few. No, he's not a player. He's not a baseball player. We've gone to a few Yankee games. Great time. Great time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get into. Okay, today is August 23rd.
Yes.
Primary day is what?
September 12th.
From 6 a.m. to 9 p.m.?
I believe so. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And you're running on several tickets, but you're being primaried on one of them,
Correct.
the Independence Party.
Yes. It's a very big deal. It's a very, very big
So
deal.
people should come out. Many people do not think it's important to vote in a primary election.
Oh my goodness.
Isn't it the most important election?
Every election's an important
Every
election.
election. But
Every vote counts. Every single vote does
when
count.
people tell me they don't vote in the primary, they only vote in the regular election or the presidential election,
Yes.
I tell them, then don't talk if you're not happy with the elected officials that are in there. Because a primary election determines who's going to run in November on certain tickets.
Yes. So the primary, like you said, for myself is for the independence line.
For the independence
Yes,
line.
I'm already a candidate for 3 other lines for certain.
Wow. And what you are doing is serving the people no matter what party you're on, right?
Yes.
That's your main
Yes.
goal in being a receiver of taxes. Can I come pay taxes in Cortland instead of Peekskill if you're elected?
We'll say no.
Oh,
What you
I
can
know.
do is you can pay your taxes
You know-
in Peekskill and come
You
on
know
over
what
and say
I read
hi.
once, and I don't know if it's right or not. I think I read my prospectus, and maybe 5% of our property is in Cortland. I wonder if we pay any taxes to Cortland, and I could be considered a Cortland resident as well as a Peekskill resident. I may have to research that.
For things like that situation, I think that would fall under not only a special interest but something else.
Really?
Maybe a portion of what you pay in, maybe the town bills, maybe the city for certain things that cross over or certain services that might be shared.
But I
Not
wonder
positive,
if part
but
of my
that is what I
taxes
think.
go to Cortland. I remember my...
After which, I think maybe it does then. Yeah.
So I'm technically a Cortland resident too then. And I've been treated very well by the town of Cortland. Recently, whoever's the town supervisor had a thing for Vietnam vets, and I
Yes.
was put into the Vietnam Vets Hall of Fame, a plaque that they have by Town Hall. But let's get back to Cindy.
Is that plaque outside?
Yes.
And
yes.
was that dedication made on the hottest day of the year?
Yeah, were you there?
I was there.
What did you think
I
of
was
that?
there. That was fantastic.
Wasn't that fantastic?
That was beautiful.
I am a Vietnam vet. I'm a disabled Vietnam vet. And 50 years was too long for
Yes.
someone to recognize Vietnam vets like that.
Sure.
You weren't even born when this war was going on. You read about it in your history books, but it was sort of a sad time for America because you
Yes.
had boys fighting for the flag, fighting for America, and coming home and people looking down on them.
Never the
Because-
same. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But let's get
True.
back to you again.
Okay.
Okay. So, what attributes do you have that make you feel qualified for this job? You've your experience in business and dealing with finances. Have you taken financial courses in your college education?
I took economics. I
well,
took micro and
there's
macroeconomics.
There's no greater course in business.
And that's what that's what drives the world. Sure it does.
Keynesian economics and all that different dry stuff. I took accounting, economics, marketing. Started out in accounting, but it was too dry for me, too exact, so I went into marketing. As you can tell, I'm more of a people person. Sold investments all over the state.
Yeah.
And I'm doing a TV show for the past 20 years.
Is it 20?
Yeah.
Well, I am so happy to be a guest, and thank you for that.
And I've had about 1,000 guests. You might be the 1,000th.
Okay.
Fine person. Bill Schmidt was my first guest 20 years ago. He was a councilman in Peekskill. Very nice person, by the way. Still a dear friend. Okay. But let's get back to September and November.
Yeah.
So no matter what happens in September, you will be on the ballot in November as well, right?
Correct.
But I'm sure you're going to win all 3 lines.
Well, that
Is
would
it
be
3 or 4?
I am on 3 lines.
Wow.
So I would really wish to get the independence line as well. Then that would be 4 lines.
Wow.
So I am an official candidate for those 3 lines. So we'd like to have the 4th as well. So again, primary, you can't stress it enough. Every single vote counts. And
of course.
So
I'll give you an example. You know, when people say, well, my 1 vote don't count or my 2 votes don't count. In Peekskill, I'm going to give you an election 4 years ago. Frank Catalina, the current mayor of Peekskill,
he's fantastic.
won. He had a person running with him who on election night was 1 vote behind.
Oh.
On a recount, he won by 1 vote. So anybody who says, oh, I'm not going to vote, my 1 vote don't count, well, I can say to Mr. Vesey, who became a councilman, because of me and my wife, you're a councilman, but I won't say that. But that's how important 1 vote can be. And another person would have given a certain party a majority. They won 3 out of 7 seats, but he lost by 6 votes. And imagine if 3 or 4 more families would have come out. That's why it's important to vote in Cortland on September 12th.
Yeah.
Is there one central voting place on a primary, or is it all the polls?
All the polls are open.
All the polls are open.
All the polls.
And you don't know this. I do this TV show, but in the past I've been a poll worker. And that's a long day, 6 a.m. at night till 12 in the morning. 9 at night when the polls close.
Well, all the candidates appreciate your services also, because you have to be accurate, because if they don't sign in the proper way, if anything gets challenged, it's just not okay. And then we don't have the old polling machines any longer where you pull the handle, and you definitely wanted to go in whenever your parents were going to vote. That was very special to be on that side.
You've got to help them, and that's why they have poll workers from all the parties there, making sure everybody's legitimate too. But unlike other states, we don't require a photo ID. What we require is a person to sign in, and if it matches, that's the person.
Yeah.
And that's good about New York.
It is. And you can't campaign however many feet
100 feet
away
it's
from
100
the poll.
feet.
Yeah.
But beyond 100 feet, 101, you could be standing there holding your signs or shaking hands
Our whole
with people.
party can.
And I've done that many years ago. I've been very active in politics, in many parties in the past. I enjoy politics. My first experience with a politician was when I was about 7 years old. A whistle stopped by. Wait till you hear this one. Harry S. Truman.
No.
And I'm only 39. There's a lie somewhere there, Cindy.
Okay.
Okay. My dad, who was a railroad worker, took me to a whistle stop. And was Margaret Truman was his daughter, sang a song. I met him. I met many politicians over the years because I've been very involved.
Right.
I think the soldiers in America have given us the right to vote. We should vote. I'm getting into veterans now. I'm a Vietnam vet, a disabled vet, by the way. That's why. If people are not satisfied with our government, they should vote, because otherwise they shouldn't say a word, right?
If you wish for change, you have to try and help to make it happen.
You said it better than I did.
It's true. And you know what? Like I said, if you are a registered independent voter, you will be, all of you, now, every single one, will be getting a postcard in the mail.
Now, let me correct you a little bit, and I don't want to correct you.
Okay.
Independence Party or independent?
Independent Party. Independent Party.
D-E-N-C-E or D-E-N-T?
C-E.
Okay, the Independence Party. That's different than being an independent voter.
Right, because then you have no allegiance.
They have to be a member of the Independence Party to vote.
Correct.
Yeah, it was funny. When I was a poll worker, somebody would come in on primary day. I want to vote for so-and-so.
Yeah.
And would have to tell them, you have to wait till November. They says, why?
Right.
Yeah. But that's an important distinction.
Very important, yes.
Independence Party.
Excellent clarification. So,
did you get the backing of the party, or maybe I shouldn't ask this?
Well, that will come in.
It hasn't happened
November.
yet.
No, in September.
Sorry. Oh, after the primary.
After the primary, yes. That is the hope. That is the goal. So I've been campaigning.
So you plan on you've been campaigning already?
Yes, been campaigning.
How do you like
meeting a lot of great people.
Going out, meeting people, pressing the flesh, as they said?
It is so much
hands?
fun. It is so much fun. And then when we had to gather, it's called
petitions.
When we had to go get it, a lot of signatures from people, registered people of the party. And there's a certain timeline you have to do that by. And when you have a job and you're going after work or on weekends,
people don't realize what the people who are running for office, the sacrifice they make. You have to be out for 4, 5, 6 months, even in a job such as the one you're running for. Meeting people,
great people,
shaking hands, and convincing them to vote for you.
Yes. So all of the registered voters of that party will be getting a postcard from me in the next few days, and it will be it says that, and thanks them for their time. I met, like I said, a lot of great people. Just, what else can I do? I'll sign this, sure. Change is good. What else can I do? Take my phone number or take my email. Let me know. It's like, wow. And this is not a politically driven position, but this is some of the feedback I've been getting.
Again, you're working for the people, all of the people.
With them.
Not just Republicans or Democrats or independents. You'll be working for the entire town in the position you're running for.
Correct.
So you want the votes from everybody in November, is that correct?
Everybody, sure. Yeah, and you don't have to vote party.
No.
For any race, there's no law against it. You are still registered with that party. But when it comes to the ballots, you make your choice that you feel is right.
Local, I think people vote for the best person. They feel the best person who would qualify and represent them, no matter what party it is.
That is the universal feedback I've been getting. Yeah, so when you go door knocking, it doesn't mean the whole household is of the same party. And again, that's why America is great.
You know, one couple divorced over the recent presidential election because one was very vehemently for one person and one was very vehement. I can't see it going to that extreme, politics.
That could have just been the straw for them. But
yes.
Yeah, like I said, some households with, their teenagers or college kids are still living or not, they're in the home, but that's still their address, you could have 4 or 5 different parties all under one roof.
Right, right.
They must have great dinner table conversation.
So also, I know you work with seniors.
Yes.
How do you feel about seniors, and do you feel they'll come out and vote, and do you urge them to vote?
We urge everyone to vote.
Right.
Seniors also, because the way
Seniors.
I think seniors look at things is they're at this point in their lives, their children are at a different point, but they remember being there, they remember how things were, and they have grandchildren too. So I think seniors,
Actually,
I think
they're one of the biggest blocks of voters.
They do take it very
I have a little to
seriously.
do with the town of Yorktown because of my TV show, and they have a place there called Jefferson Village.
Oh, yeah.
And it's a huge block of voters
It is.
for
that district.
for that district. Yeah.
Correct.
And for the town too. They hold a
Yeah.
lot of weight, so I know you help
really
seniors in the
do.
job you do.
I do.
And I know you're for teenagers because you have a son. I don't know how old he is. I
He's
think
a
he's
high
a
school
young
senior.
child. No way.
He is. He's terrific.
Yeah.
He enjoys the bowling team and a ton of friends.
Oh, is there a self contact number, website contact number that you want to be reached by anyone seeing this show tonight?
I do have a Facebook page, which is for my political page. I think they're going to flash it on the screen.
But I want you to repeat it.
I'm gonna read it to you here. It says vote for Cynthia Merend. I don't know if you can see this. It says like me on Facebook, and it says Cynthia Merend, receiver of taxes at Friends of Cynthia Merend. So you should get that.
Now,
And the
what was
postcard
that again?
the postcard that they'll be getting is here.
And is that the best way to reach you?
Yes,
okay.
right on Facebook.
On Facebook. I see something on the table here. Do you have a present or something?
I
for
do.
me?
I do. I have a T-shirt
And I don't
for
take
you.
payoffs, by the way.
Okay.
Oh,
And it
Miranda.
says Miranda, it's a primary election. It's September 12th.
Is it
and it says
XL
vote
or-
for. It's a medium, George.
Oh, okay.
I was being considerate.
I may
It's a
have
medium.
to trade it in with you at another time. I want to get to medium.
You will.
You won't believe this.
have
I
to
once weighed 270 pounds. I weigh 195 now. That's through diet,
Wow.
exercise, and eating the right foods.
Yeah.
But Cindy, I know you don't believe this, but the time has flown by already. We have 2 minutes left. What would you like to say in closing to my vast audience in Cortland and throughout Westchester County and throughout the world on not Facebook, YouTube?
I would like to, first of all, thank you for having me. This was enlightening, fun, and a wonderful opportunity, of course. And again, please, please, please vote, 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 vote.
Who should they vote for?
Vote for Cindy.
Cindy on
Primary day,
September
September 12th, and then election day, and then election day. Here, George.
Cindy who? Merend?
Cindy Merend. And election day is November 7th. Okay?
Okay, so once again, I thank you for
Thank you
being
very
on
much.
the George Ondek Show.
Anytime. My
and
pleasure.
in fairness, this has been one of my Meet the Candidates shows. I always give equal opportunity to everyone, so anyone else watching this who would like to be on, the invitation is open. Till next time, remember, voters, get out there, vote on primary day, vote on election day, and vote for
Cindy Merend, every vote counts.
okay,
Every vote counts.
receiver of taxes, Cortland Manor,
Yes.
New York.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy.
Thank you.